Well, let's talk about the issue in the aviation industry now. Joining me is aviation consultant Tayo Ojuri. Welcome to TVC Breakfast.
Good morning. It's a pleasure to be here.
Absolutely. It's a pleasure to have you here. I also have joining virtually Wole Shadare. Good morning to you.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
All right. I begin with you, Mr. Ojuri, talking about the peculiarities that we have in Nigeria regarding the aviation crisis. The Minister Hadi Sirika has said that Nigeria isn't the only country experiencing these issues, but how much of a peculiarity does would you place Nigeria in?
Thank you, Kemi. And it's good thing you did mention it's a peculiarity in Nigeria, but it's actually a global phenomenon. It's a global phenomenon because America at the moment is actually experiencing 14-year high in cost of Jet A1, which has been the result of the geopolitical issues. Now, the peculiarities in Nigeria is not just is about the inability to refine our produce. We actually have to import virtually everything. So the two major things that are affecting it is the cost of importation and foreign exchange. Because by the time you import, or the first thing is the foreign exchange. The foreign exchange is really volatile at the moment, to lack of a better word. And as at yesterday was 605 at the parallel market. If you actually go and buy and bring that Jet A1 in, you have to sell more than 605, and there's the logistic cost as well. So it's just the major thing that's affecting that cost now is the foreign exchange and inability to refine Jet A1 in country. So we have that and ancillary challenges of logistics of being able to move the Jet A1 from across country, because the roads are bad. The cost of moving these Jet A1s for ex-Lagos is good.
Right.
But by the time you actually move it to Abuja, you move it to Maiduguri, you are looking at about 700, 650 or 670. But what the NNPC and the federal government has been able to resolve with the airline operators of Nigeria for the next 3 months is to fix that Jet A1 price at 450 naira, 480 naira per litre.
As against the 605?
Yes. How sustainable would that be? What is the process for ensuring that they're actually able to get that product? Because now they're saying it's at 480, and the airline operators are saying, yes, it's been agreed, but there's scarcity of Jet A1.
All right. Let me check your analysis so far with that of Mr. Shadare. So what do you think the NNPC's intervention in conjunction with the House and the Ministry of Aviation, how much good do you think that will do to the industry?
Thank you very much. I said this the last time I appeared on your show, that we have not had the last of this, that is going to be a long journey, because like Mr. Ojuri said, I don't know how that 480 naira per litre or 500, how sustainable it is. If you also look at it, the marketers are in business. The marketers are also invested a lot of money into bringing these products into Nigeria. I do not know how they're going to remain at, how this product is going to remain at 450 naira per litre, except government is going to subsidize it. If government is going to subsidize it, then we are in for we are in for it, because if you look at PMS, it's subsidized at the rate of over 3 trillion naira. Are we going to also subsidize Jet A1? I think the answer is no. If you also look at it, the two major issues that we've had that have contributed immensely to the rise of Jet A1 is the issue of foreign exchange. As at yesterday, at the parallel market, it was over 600 naira for a dollar. Also, another issue is inability to refine this product locally. These are the twin issues that have caused this. Like I said, we have not had the last of this, because this issue will still come up. The 3 months window, that they've given the NNPC, and by extension the federal government has given to NNPC to ensure that this airline get this product at between 480 and 500 is not sustainable. If you look at trucking of this commodity from wherever it is coming from to across all the major airports in Nigeria, you'll find out that even the marketers are probably running at a loss. So we haven't had the last of this, and it's going to continue for a long time to come.
All right. Mr. Shadare, let me put you on hold. Let me put you on hold so we can cover some more ground within the limited time we have. Mr. Ojuri, so these interventions, you both have said we may still have a long way to go in resolving this situation or this crisis permanently. But when you look at the flip side, you know, how passengers are groaning, there does seem to be a somewhat buffer for the operators. But how much have we looked as a country, as a government, how much has the government looked at how this is impacting on passengers? Or if you would weigh the impact, who do you think is suffering the most?
Let's be real. Aviation, yes, it drives the economy, but let's look at it how it actually affects the whole ecosystem. At the moment, there's inflation. Aviation is a function of disposable income. As at the last month, we had an inflation rising inflation, which is global too.
All right.
So it's about resilience and adaptability. So we're looking at inflation that has risen to 16.8%. That's going to affect this price of tickets. And now it's affecting not just the bread seller, the yam seller, the tomato seller, it's affecting the cost of tickets. So it brings to your question of how do we actually cushion that effect on the customer? Is being able to see what is the cost, the sustainable cost of doing business. Will it be able to, we will be able to actually offer the prices that actually within the affordability. I won't say common man, because already aviation is seen as an elitist means of transportation. But we need to move. We need to move goods. We need to move people. People need to move around. So what do we need to do is to ensure that one, the cost of operations of aviation, which Jet A1 is 40%, Forex is available. Jet A1 is available. Forex is available for maintenance, operations, and training, and purchasing of spares. And then we're able to actually provide a ticket that is competitive. And what do you call competitive? Don't forget, private operations, domestic operations is actually deregulated.
Absolutely.
Jet A1 is deregulated. So it's a function of market forces. So, yes, it's a free market. It's a function of demand and supply. Right. So how much would that demand be? We have to be careful as airline operators as well, because there's an elasticity of the price. There's a limit to which you can actually increase the price. And then, like Mr. Shadare said, we will not get passengers. Oh, Mr. Wanye said in that earlier, right. We will not be able to get passengers. And what is the use of the aircraft sitting down without passengers? So we have to have, what is the middle ground of being able to see what's a price for sustainability, and then at that point would actually be able to see what's adaptable, what is resilient. The good thing about human nature of business is being able to be dynamic. This is the reality of what we're facing now. We're not reinventing the wheel. It's happened during the Iran-Iraq war. It's now saying, okay, how would the airlines be able to survive moving forward?
So, Mr. Shadare, where are we in achieving this middle ground that will pay, if I can use the local parlance, that will pay, you know, all stakeholders, including the consumers or the customers?
Yeah, I think we need to be very careful here in the sense that we just need to find a middle ground, because the airlines cannot continue to increase airfare. There are alternatives to them. If you see what has been happening in the last 3, 4, 5 months now, since the airlines increased airfare to base fare of 50,000 naira, that's the the cheapest ticket you can get now is ranges from 50,000, 55, 60, and even 70, depending on where you're going to and the time of purchase. If you look at it, there's a limit to which you can increase airfare, because you also look at the economy. Can the economy sustain the increase of airfare? The answer is no. And this is not limited to Nigeria. All over the world, airlines are finding it difficult. We must also say this, that the airlines are also going through a lot of difficulties. Aviation is highly capital intensive, it's highly dollarized. And a situation where you have, where they find it difficult to source foreign exchange, where to get all their spare parts at reasonable price, has really, really affected them. And Jet A1, like we all know, takes like 30%, 40% of the airline's revenue. But now I believe it takes like 60% of their revenue. But the airlines must be very careful. Even at 50,000, a lot of people are finding it difficult to travel by air. They have alternative. If you go to Djibouti, if you go to Maza, where you have the luxury buses, you'll see them, they are really having a field day, because not a lot of people can really bring out 100,000 naira or 120,000 to travel from Lagos to Abuja, for example. So there's a limit to which the airlines can really go, and that is where I really feel for the airlines, because the economy honestly cannot sustain traveling by air. And like Mr. Ojuri said, aviation is elitist. It is only for all. It shouldn't be so, but that is what it is now. That a lot of people who would rather want to travel by air will honestly tell you that, okay, let's go by road, even with the attendant challenges. So how we're going to get to the middle ground is what I don't know, because aviation fuel is highly deregulated. Is what you see, is what you get, is what you sell. So I do not know, except we are asking government to, subsidize that sector again, which I believe does not make any sense. It is highly deregulated. So the elasticity of it is that you cannot go beyond what it is. If not, a lot of people will shun the airport. And if you also look at the traffic, this is going to affect the traffic in second quarter of 2022.
All right.
Because
Okay. All right. Mr. Shadare, apologies again for the interruption, but time is not our friend at this time. I want to check your thoughts. I want to, ask what your thoughts are on the issue of subsidy, subsidizing the industry. Many have actually said it wouldn't help the industry, but, briefly, what do you think?
I don't think, like you said, it's across board. We cannot subsidize every form of business in Nigeria. So how do we move forward? How do we resolve this? It's been dynamic, adaptability and resilience. At the current World Economic Forum yesterday, I was able to review this, and it's the world that we live in, and how bringing that to Nigeria and airline operations is the fact that what now do we need to do different? In my opinion, we have to be strategic in terms of strategic alliances with the airlines. Airlines, we actually have seen something evolve. We've seen airline alliances with Star Alliance, all the alliances evolve because of things like this. So when you see alliances, actually Nigeria and airline operators have been able to come up with the Spring Alliance. But with that Spring Alliance, what is the modus operandi? The modus operandi, are they able to hedge their funds, their fuel purchase, and have put money together and buy fuel with a strong marketing power? Are they able to do that? That's going to help them for sustainability, because there's power in numbers, strength in numbers. Lastly, is being able to improve their structure and corporate governance and be able to open up to foreign strategic or technical partners. With that open and that alliance, it actually helps with the inflow of foreign exchange. We've all talked about the challenges of sourcing foreign exchange locally. Now, if you have a foreign partner that is actually able to input foreign exchange into your company, that's going to help you breathe a little bit.
Oh, okay, so Mr. Shadare, I don't know if this reflects your recipe for how things will be resolved in the industry, but then there are concerns. I don't know if the partnership Mr. Ojuri is talking about, if it's kind of like the BASA agreement, but you would note that some have said that this agreement gives a kind of unfair advantage on foreign operators. I don't know if I'm getting the point, or if you want to add to the points have been made.
I guess you're talking of the bilateral air service. You're talking about two things here. You're talking about the bilateral air services agreement, and you're talking of the alliance the airlines had recently, the Spring Alliance, if I'm correct. There are two things here. The Spring Alliance, helps you to manage your businesses very well. Helps the airline to manage their businesses very well. Allows them to have the number to be able to cut down their costs and cut down their spending. Like we've had the Star Alliance that we all have all over the world, One World and all others. What this does is that the airlines try to cut their costs. Like we have Air France, KLM. These are two separate airlines, but they are from alliance to cut down their costs. And anywhere you see KLM, you see Air France operating almost side by side, not side by side. One person doing the work of two airlines anywhere they go. So they've been able to cut costs. They've been able to do things themselves to help them, navigate the difficulties in the global airline business. But in Nigeria here, the airlines have also taken that a cue from that by forming Spring Alliance. I think that was done 2 months ago. They came together to say, okay, we want to cut our costs. We want to do post share and all the rest. We should have helped them. But I don't know how far that has gone now, because one thing is in Nigeria is, having an idea. Another thing is, coming up with it. But for the bilateral air services agreement, a lot of people have said that the government has given so much advantage to foreign airlines at the expense of the domestic airline. Whichever way you look at it, a lot of people have also argued that we have airlines that are very weak and very small to even compete with this mega airline. Are we going to tie their hands? Are we going to not allow them to do their business because we are not ready? We do not have airlines apart from one airline that even can reciprocate some of this agreement. But by and large, what people are saying is that you must restrict airlines, foreign airlines, to 1 or 2 entry points. By so doing, you are strengthening the domestic aviation market.
Mr. Shadare, on a final note, I apologize once again. On a final note, I want to also get Mr. Ojuri's take. Where's the place of air safety amidst these concerns? I'm talking about air safety. Where's the place of air safety amidst these concerns, these lingering challenges we still face? Okay, while we try to sort that out, Mr. Ojuri, your final thoughts on this?
Air safety is still front burner. It's not compromised. We cannot compromise air safety. So it's not even in contention at the moment. Air safety and the safety of operations of any airlines takes preeminence, superimposes over everything so within the operation. So it's safety first and others follow.
Mr. Ojuri, thank you so much, Tayo Ojuri, for your analysis and insights on TVC Breakfast this morning. Big thank you also to Wole Shadare. I'm afraid I won't be able to take any more contributions from you at this time, but we are delighted to have you with us on the show.